Hello and welcome back. What was that? That was very interesting. Anyhow, hi. For those of you who don't know, my name is Irene and I'm very excited that you have chosen to join me today. So a couple of weeks ago, probably more than that now, the first person that I ever recorded with got in touch with me. And we were just chatting, and it turned out that he still had the recordings that we'd done from my first ever time, my first ever experience in a studio. So he sent them over to me, and I've been like waiting for a really long time to film this video because I really wanted to film my reaction to hearing them back. Now, disclaimer, I was 16 when I first had my first ever recording experience. I had just had my first heartbreak. I know, it's sad, feel sorry for me. And yeah, so do you know what? Like I want to believe that as a young 16-year-old, I was very good. I was a very good songwriter. Everything was acoustic. But I'm not like, you know what it's like when like you remember things being really good and then you go back to them and you discover that they're actually not as like cracking as you thought they were. So I'm a bit nervous about this. But I'm really excited. But before we start, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the little notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload. That feels so weird to say still. Okay. So let's do this. Right, Still Fall Down. I vaguely remember this one, vaguely. I think, if it's the one that I think it is, the producer that I was working with had a band, and his band, this was his band song, and he asked me to record a version of this song. But I can't like, we'll see. Let's just play it, shall we? Every day I wake up and I'm half asleep, with visions of the one I wish to be. Memories of childhood I will cherish deep. The sunshine by my side, with you I'm free. My world caves in. Ah, those harmonies. Show me love. You give me things I'm dreaming of. I think we should have changed the key. Like, I'm not good at singing in my lower register. Like, it's just not my comfortable range. That sounds nice though. Oh, I love that. Oh, I like it. I do still like it. You're always there, no matter what you thought. I hope to emulate your strength someday. I think if memory serves, they wrote this for a friend of theirs. Or someone wrote it for a friend of theirs who was in an accident of some sort. It was very emotional. It is like, listening to it back, I'm like having memories. It's a beautiful song. I did not write this song. It was, I don't know if it was Dave who wrote the song or a friend of Dave's who wrote the song. Dave was the producer that I worked with. But yeah. Do you know what the scariest thing is? Like, covering a song that has an identity in itself is difficult anyway, because people are always going to compare you to the original. It's just unavoidable. But this one, I remember
This one felt so much different because it wasn't just covering a song that someone else had made, it was covering a song that someone I knew was a part, like he was a part of the creation of it, and it meant a lot to people who were very close to my world. You know, they were the kind of people that I could walk past in the street, so it wasn't a small thing. So listening to it back a few years afterwards and still liking it makes me feel like, okay, I can live with how it was done. I can live with it. I liked my O's, didn't I? I liked a lot of O's. I need a lighter. This is not a microphone. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It is nice. I feel like I do a better job now. It's a beautiful song, like beautifully written song, beautiful. Like, I'll have to see if they like still are together and recording and stuff, and like put a link down below, because this is like really, like, it's a beautiful song. I feel very happy that I was a part of that. That makes me very happy. Okay. I've been building suspense because there's one song that he sent me that I don't recognise and that I don't remember, and I'm a little bit nervous about what that means. Let's just do it and see. It's called I'll Wait For You, apparently. Let's go. I vaguely remember this. I lost the fire. Something tells me you're the one who has it. It's complicated, I need understanding, but my words are lost along with you. Oh, sorry, Alfie. Oh, okay. Okay, I have a lot of feelings. Okay. Okay. I don't remember writing this song, so I don't remember writing this song. I can definitely take a stab at what it was about, because I know what I was dealing with around the time when I was recording. Like, at this point, I'd like been in church my whole life, and I think I'd left, and I felt like I'd lost a bit of my spark, a bit of my light, and I think I was missing it a bit and wanting to go back, and I think that's what this was about. I think. I mean, I think. Let me keep listening. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll remember something else. Oh, was it about about my first love again. You know what I mean? Like he reared his ugly head for a while. I mean, no offense. I mean, we're okay now. But I know that there was a time when I just kept writing songs about him.
It was so perfect, wasn't a lie. There's a first time for everything that's so great. To feel your arms around me as we both fall asleep.
I think it was about my first love.
I'll keep hitting the rewind, 'cause my heart is set, and I want you.
Oh, I don't think we recorded vocals for that second pre-chorus because those were two different lyrics playing at the same time. I really, like, even to this day, I really enjoyed like layering vocals that weren't necessarily in sync but sat on top of each other really nicely. I think this, like, I could definitely tell this was one of the first times I did it because it's not quite, it's not the way that I would do it now, but like it was like, I was on the cusp of something great, you know what I mean? Like, it was the first experimental experience, and I can definitely see where I get it from now, like how it started in comparison to where it is now. I'll actually try and find you something, like, so if you listen to, oh, that's all there is. So if you listen to this layering, like not the harmonies, this part coming up there. I mean, apparently we only recorded half a song. And then I'm gonna play something that I did a couple of years back, which is more recent, to show you the kind of layering that I use now. I love this song. We just never finished it. Like I lied. We finished a version of it, but I think lyrically I'd change it now, and like the track itself just felt incomplete. Like it just wasn't quite right. Song. It just makes me miss recording so much. I never released that song because it just never felt finished. Like, parts of it were really good and I loved it, but part of it just didn't have the right vibe. Like, I think I recorded a lot over the years, but I was always going for a very modern, like, it could sit on the radio next to the rest of the songs and find its place, and I always really struggled to do that, especially because I was such a control freak in a studio and I'd always go in knowing exactly what I wanted, but I didn't know enough about sound to make it work. Yeah, I'm still working on that one. Anyway, I digress. This one was like I think it was 2014 it said. Yeah, 1st of the 7th, 14. So this is a couple of years after. How old would I have been? It's only two years ago? No, God, I can't do maths. It's 4 years ago, so I was 20 when I did that song. Yeah, I was 20 when I did this song, which means it was 4 years after my first experience. So you can see the difference. You can see how much I've changed and grown as a song creator. Okay, we're about to get real deep now. Real deep. Okay, this song was, so I'd had my first heartbreak, and I just kept writing songs about this guy, and I was like, okay, I have so many feelings, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write one more song, I'm gonna get it all out, and then I'm not going back to it, and that is just the end of it. That is just the way it is gonna be. So I sat down and I wrote this song called Silence, and it's an emotional song. Like I know I haven't even listened to it yet. I haven't listened to it since like Dave sent me them. But I know that it was an emotional song because I know how much went into it, and I know that even to this day, like lyrically, it's probably the song that I'm the most proud of. And I know how much like I don't know, I fixated on every sentence because every sentence like had a specific meaning or a reference to an event or a story. Like this song was packed with emotion and experience and events because I wanted to get so much out. So it is a slowie. I think we can see that I had a theme of doing slowies when I was 16, but I was really into acoustic. I think the thing is, I started getting into acoustic because it's the only thing that I could control. I could I knew that I could sit at home and teach myself the guitar, and then that way I would have some way of going into a studio and explaining to a producer what I wanted. So this was me doing that. Like, this was my method of doing that. I taught myself basic guitar so that I could know chords, so I could bash out like a brief basic outline of a song. So I could bash out a brief basic outline of a song, and I would have somewhere to go off instead of just sitting in the studio and just being able to hum a tune or something. So yeah, hang on. So let's listen to this one.
Questions floating around in my mind now. I try to find words to define how you make me feel.
And it was this song that made the producer want to work with me. Like, I remember sitting in one of the practice rooms in school, and they just hired a new like studio engineer kind of, and they were showing him around, and I was sat in the music room in school, and he came in, our head of music was showing him around, and they came in while I was sat playing this song to my friends, and he came in and he heard it and he was like, "Who wrote that song?" And I was like, "Me." And he was like, "Really?" Like, he was just so fascinated with the fact that like he was like really passionate about it. He was like, I mean, like, that's just the kind of song that like grandmas and like everyone are going to be able to relate to. He was just so, I think he was so taken back by it. And this is the song that started my whole recording experience. This is the song that made him want to work with me in the first place.
In your eyes, I'll just go insane.
I'm very breathy. Very breathy. Else went through that, like when you're in a relationship or you like someone or you're in a situation or whatever, and like I would like build myself up and have these big speeches ready, and I was gonna go in there and tell him exactly how I felt and what, and like he needed to make an honest woman of me and blah blah blah, and then I'd go in and he'd say one sentence and I'd just be lost, and I'd be like, just me. Okay, this is the last song, and this song was called Fight For You, and I remember I was such a dreamer, like I was such a big dreamer when I was younger. I envisioned creating a charity where we would put on events, like creative events, and maybe, you know, it was a charity fashion show or a charity concert or a dance event or something, where we would raise money and give that money to a select, like we would split it amongst a selection of charities. And I remember I had the term fight against, and it was going to be ... and then we would have a different charity each time. So like I really wanted to donate to the A21 campaign and, you know, fight against human trafficking or breast cancer or whatever. Like there were so many different ideas I had, and the reason why I wanted to do it that way is because I was so passionate about so many different charities and so many different causes. I really wanted an umbrella where I could use creativity but to support charities. Obviously I never went ahead with it, but even now thinking back to it, I'm like, that's such a good idea. Like, why didn't I go ahead with it? Why don't I go ahead with it? One day. So when I set about writing this song, it sounds like I'm digressing, I'm not. So, when I set about writing this song, this was supposed to be like the theme tune, and I was gonna get a bunch of different people onto it, almost like a band-aid kind of thing. And yeah, so I wrote this song, but it never ended up happening. I ended up recording it myself. Yeah, so it's called Fight For You. It makes me happy already.
So sad when I see your face. All your faith's been stripped away, but I'll fight for you. I will fight for you. So sad when I see your eyes. I see your soul like torn inside, but we'll fight on through. This is not the end. So much more.
Do you know what the thing is? Like, I was such a hopeful teen. I do like to think of myself still as being that person. I think, like, there's an odd perception of, like, humans in that if you're an optimist, like, you don't get down or you don't get sad or you don't have struggles or whatever. And I think I still consider myself like an optimist to this day, but it's more that, like, when I find myself in a difficult situation, I'm a doer, I'm a hoper, I'm a believer. I'm like someone who wants to just, like, take action and get out of it. Like, I 100% believe that we are all in control of our destinies to some extent. Like, we all have choice, even if it doesn't look like choice, and even if it's not an ideal choice. Like, 9 times out of 10 there always is a choice, and I always see that option or that road or that way out, and it's kind of like, I feel like that's reflected in this song.
This must be just a dream. There's more to life than this, it seems.
I remember that phrase, there's more to life, because I was obsessed with More to Life by Stacey Orico.
Black storm is trying to dim your shine, but I'll fight for you.
So I recorded this song and Dave went off to mix and master it, and when he came back there was this other vocal on it. Now that I'm older, I definitely know and understand that it just needed something else. Like, the song needed something else. It was going to be very monotone unless we built on it some way. So he got his friend to add vocals to it, and I never met his friend, but he just did it and it works. Like, I don't think it would be the song that it is if his friend hadn't have put vocals on it. So I'm very appreciative. I wish I had gotten the chance to thank him, but I never knew who he was.
I'll fight for you.
I think he was the same guy who was involved in Still Fall Down.
Won't heal these wounds. We've got time, we've got me and you, and we'll fight on through.
I was so hopeful.
Fight
I say was like it's past tense. I'm still hopeful. But
The rain comes and goes, you're not to blame. We faced the storm before and had no shame, so we'll fight because together.
I just wish my vocal was stronger, but I was 16. Anyway, I really enjoyed listening to those songs. It's funny hearing how different I am now in comparison to the songs I was writing back then. But I'm very proud of like where I was and where I've come to, and I hope I don't lose any of that passion and that hope. And yeah, I'm really happy. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.